Welcome to the Ielts Overview, presented by Brian Gabriel. So what is the Ielts? It is the International English Language Testing System. Let's start with some basic facts. The Ielts exam takes 2 hours and 45 minutes to complete. So it is relatively short compared to some other tests, such as the TOEFL, which can take about 4 hours. It's not just one big test, it's actually split up into 4 subtests: speaking, writing, listening, and reading. The Ielts only tests your English language skills. So don't worry, you don't have to know everything there is to know about automobiles, artwork, history, biology. It is really testing your English language skills. There are 2 versions, 2 types of the Ielts exam. There's the general training and the academic. The academic module is a bit more difficult. It's for those who are studying at university. So if you want to study at an English-speaking university, whether as an undergraduate or as a postgrad, you would take the academic module. The general training module is for everybody else. That could include high school students or people looking to immigrate to an English-speaking country. What are the differences? Well, the listening and the speaking are the exact same, whether you're taking the general or the academic. Now, the reading and writing are a little bit different. They're somewhat easier in the general training module, as you will see. So we're going to look at these 4 subtests, and not in great detail, but I'm just going to introduce you so that you know what they look like. Section 1, speaking. The speaking part on the Ielts is a live conversation. So that means you get to talk face to face with another person. The person is called the examiner. This is different from some other tests which have you speaking into a microphone and recording your voice. Instead, you're talking to a live person. Many people think this is easier to do because it is more natural. The speaking section takes only about 11 to 14 minutes, and there are 3 sections within the speaking subtest. There's part 1, part 2, and part 3. So how do they score you on the speaking? Well, they look at 4 different areas. Vocabulary is the first area. How do you score well on vocabulary? You need to display a wide range. Show off all those words you know. Don't just use the same words and repeat them many times. Instead, try to use different words. Use a variety of words. The second scoring area is pronunciation. It's okay to have an accent. That's no problem at all. But just make sure you speak clearly so the examiner can understand what you are saying. And use proper tones. The third area, range of grammar and accuracy. What you really want to focus on is future, present, and past tenses. If you have the tense right, that is pretty much all you need to know. When you're asked about the future, make sure you're using future tenses. When you're asked about the past, make sure you use past tenses. This is what you should spend your time practicing to get a great score on grammar and accuracy. The fourth area is fluency and coherence. This is about how you express your ideas and your opinions. Make sure you express them clearly. This is different from pronunciation. Pronunciation is how you speak. Fluency and coherence is your ideas, what you are speaking about. Make sure the examiner understands easily what your opinion or your idea is. So looking at part 1, it takes about 4 to 5 minutes, and the examiner starts by just asking simple questions about you. This could be, where are you from? Tell me about your hometown. Do you like to play any sports? What kind of music do you like? What kind of books do you read? These kinds of questions, just getting to know you. And that's really the purpose. It's just to get you to talk about yourself. And part 2 is shorter. It's only 3 or 4 minutes. What happens is the examiner will give you a topic card, and that topic card will have a topic that it wants you to talk about. So you will have 1 minute to take notes on that given topic. You'll see some examples of the topic card later in the course. Then, once you've taken your notes, you simply give a short talk on the topic, and this has to be at least 1 minute, but no more than 2 minutes. The examiner is not asking you questions. This is not a conversation in part 2. This is a monologue. This is you giving a speech. Part 3 is about 4 minutes, and this is a discussion, a conversation with the examiner. It's a bit different from part 1 because now you're giving more in-depth opinions and you're speaking on more advanced topics. The topics are typically based on your part 2 presentation topic. Some examples of advanced topics are things like education and society. Again, you're not expected to know everything about these advanced topics, just to practice your English skills and to be able to use your vocabulary, use proper grammar, speak clearly, and state clear ideas. Now let's look at writing. So writing has 2 tasks, and you have to complete these tasks in 60 minutes. You have 20 minutes for task 1 and 40 minutes for task 2. Task 1 on the general module asks you to write a letter. This could be a formal or an informal letter. So a formal letter would be writing a letter to a bank, for example. An informal letter could be writing a letter to a friend. Task 1, academic module. Task 1 is different on the academic module. It's not the same. It's a different task. You are not writing a letter. It's the same in that you have 20 minutes, but it's different in that you're writing a report. And you're writing it about a graph or a table or a diagram or statistics, something like this. Task 2 is the same for general and academic. You have 40 minutes and you're writing an essay. In this essay, you're going to discuss an argument or point of view. The important thing with an essay is to plan the structure of your essay first. That makes writing it a lot easier. Section 3, Listening. In the listening section, you will have a total of 40 questions. Now you'll have the questions in front of you to see, and it's really helpful to read the questions before you do the listening, before the speakers actually begin speaking. And you really need to listen carefully because you only get to hear each recording one time. They don't give you a replay, so really listen closely. There are 4 different listening sections. The first one is the easiest section, and they increase in difficulty as you go on to the second, third, and fourth sections. Let's take a look at these 4 sections, shall we? Section 1, 2 people chatting on general social topics. So you'll just have a dialogue between 2 people, and they'll be talking about something rather basic, something about everyday life, and it should be rather easy for you to follow. Section 2 is going to be an interview or possibly a lecture. Section 3, the topic will be more difficult because it's going to be an academic topic and it has up to 4 speakers. So you really have to pay attention when you're listening to 4 different speakers in Section 3. And then in Section 4, there's going to be a professor, most likely, lecturing on an academic topic. Section 4, reading. You will see 3 reading passages, and you'll have 60 minutes to complete them. If you're doing the math, you got it. That's 20 minutes for each reading passage. And you know the pattern. The easiest reading passage is going to be the first one. And then they get more advanced as you go. There are a total of more than 2,000 words for these 3 sections. So you have to be kind of a fast reader to get through all of the questions. And you have 60 minutes for 40 questions. That's about 1.5 minutes for each question. They typically go in order, meaning the first question should come first. It should be at the top of the reading passage, and the last question should be near the bottom of the passage. A good strategy in the reading is to answer the first questions really fast. But if you do find them difficult, go ahead and skip them and then return back later before your 60 minutes is up. Well, that was the IELTS overview. Thanks for watching, and good luck in the course.